All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Touchpoint Series 31. I'm Commissioner Larry Johnson. You in for a treat tonight. You're going to be empowered. You're going to get resources. You're going to get knowledge that's going to take you to the next level. We started this Touchpoint series, ironically, almost a year ago because we wanted to make sure Districts 3 stay informed and engaged and just try to have subject matter experts, people who can connect us to moving to the next level, have an opportunity just to talk to you all and just make a difference. So I'm just glad you have stuck with us for a year. This is our 31st episode, so you know we've been doing this for a while, and it's all about how do we connect and make a difference. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I first want to express my sincere condolences to all the victims who lost their lives due to senseless act of violence against the Asian American community right here in the metropolitan area. I was honored to participate in the march last Saturday. Ironically, Congressman Johnson sent me the flyer and gave me the heads up, and I was glad to be out there. This is not who we are. The violent acts must cease. Our hearts also go out to the victims in Colorado. You know, I spent a couple years out there in Greeley, Colorado with my master's degree, and we were close to Boulder, Colorado, beautiful place and space. And I'm hoping that those families that we can, do past the prayers and the thoughts, what can we do to make a difference in their lives? And so we're going to reach out and see what we can do. And just thank you all again for being a part. Of course, we're going to share information. We got information from Oakhurst Health Center. They now are going to have the vaccine. It's by appointment only. And we're going to send that information out tonight. That's our federally qualified health center right there on Candler Road. And now the governor has opened it up to 16 years of age and older. And so now everybody really can go and sign up and get an appointment and get your shot. And so we must stay safe, be masked up, and make a difference. So please, you all, let's continue to practice. We got the new variant has come to Georgia, the Brazilian variant, the UK variant is here. So we still have a long way to go as we fight this pandemic. And so when we're talking to someone tonight who's been a champion for us in DC, from CARES to relief, to getting the vaccines to us in our community, to just really helping us to be all that we can be. So our Congressman Hank Johnson, let me introduce him, folks, to some and present to others. He's in his 8th term as the U.S. House Representative from Georgia, 4th Congressional District, which encompass parts of DeKalb, Gwinnett, and Newton counties, and all of Rockdale. Congressman Hank Johnson has distinguished himself as a substantive, effective lawmaker and is leading us as a leading national progressive voice for us in Washington. From his seat on the House Judiciary Committee, Congressman Hank Johnson has introduced, co-sponsored, and passed legislation to level the playing field for everyday Americans, that's you and I. His bills to help protect consumers, citizens' civil liberties include the FAIR Act, the Stop Militarizing Law Enforcement Act, as part of the historic George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which was the Congressional Black Caucus response to police and the vigilante violence against African Americans across the country. In 2019, Representative Johnson was elected by his peers to lead the Judiciary Subcommittee on Courts, Intellectual Property, and the Internet. This subcommittee has administration over U.S. courts, federal rules of evidence, civil appellate procedures, judicial ethics, patents, copyright, trademark law, information technology, and the internet. So, man, that's a whole lot. That means we're impacted in so many ways by his leadership.
Well, it also means that, Larry, you know me, you know me more than that bio. So know that bio that just builds me up. You know that I'm just little old Hank Johnson, who you used to serve with.
That's right.
Over in DeKalb County. So you don't go for all of that mess. And I know that I hope that your citizens that are watching know me a little better than that too.
They know you. I'm gonna get to the know your part. I just gotta let the folks, because this go all over the country. So I gotta let them other folks know.
Well, yeah. So I just want to keep it real with you, and that's my wife calling me on the phone right now. You didn't tell her that we were gonna be meeting today.
I told her we were on. I sent her the flyer personally.
So she's interrupting a second call coming in from her. And I'm wondering, I'm gonna have to look out the window, make sure I don't see her out there.
That's right. That's right. But
yeah,
no, thank you, Congressman, for being a part. We did serve together as county commissioners for 5 years. His leadership and his care for our community has not changed. But Congressman, I just want to first talk to you about just see how you're doing from dealing with what you did on January 6th and what happened January 6th. I called you and checked in with you. Just how you're doing, because you're an everyday person, but you hurt like we hurt. You feel like we feel. How are you doing since January 6th? From a mental health, physical, just to let the people know how you feeling.
Gosh, Commissioner, Mr. President, Larry, I don't know what to call you these days. I'm gonna just call you. I'm gonna call you Larry for this one. But yeah, it was a very traumatic episode in my life. It it was really shocking to me, and it was hurtful and painful, and it made me angry, and it also made me sad. And I
Right.
went through a lot of emotions. Post-traumatic stress is a syndrome that I was afflicted with, and it took probably a month and a half to fully get it out of my system. And it's
Wow.
probably still not totally out of my system yet, but it was something to kind of get over. An attack that put me and my colleagues physically in harm's way. And it was a harrowing experience. It really was. And it got even more frightful the further away from it that I got, because I was able to see what I didn't know what was going on at the time. I could see what was happening outside. I could see just how much danger we were in. And so it kind of had a delayed effect. But what is most disturbing is the fact that it was the commander in chief who incited those people to come to the Capitol and attack us. And he tried to hide his hand. He tries to go as far up to the line. Don't think Donald Trump is stupid. He's very smart and shrewd, and he goes up to the line just so far as to be able to say that I didn't mean what I said.
Well,
And so to be held accountable for his actions is going to be tough, but I think that the attempts should be made to hold him accountable. And I feel like every day, Larry, he's losing support. I feel that his movement is losing momentum, and I hope I'm correct about that. But there's still danger out there, and there are still people out there who don't want to see the change in this country that has already occurred. It won't go back, and there are people who want to insist on the white privilege that they have enjoyed for the centuries that this country has been in place, and they don't want to lose it. They think that having to share something with folks who don't look like them is actually taking something away from them, and it's crazy.
Crazy. Now, stand on that line as a congressman. I just want people to understand your role and impact. What is a congressman? What's your role? What do you do?
Well, we make the laws that the country uh, follows. We make the laws that govern our conduct in all areas that were not left to the states under the Constitution.
Wow.
And so there are certain things that the federal government does to provide for the common defense and to promote the general welfare and to establish justice and also ensure domestic tranquility. And these areas where the federal government under our Constitution has decided to be prominent and primary end. Those are set forth in the Constitution. And so we make the laws that are constitutional, that enable our society to be what it is. And then all of those other powers that we don't exercise authority in devolve to the states, and also to the local governing authorities.
Wow.
And so, in addition to passing laws, we also oversee the operations of the executive branch, the presidency. So we have a system of three co-equal branches of government: the legislative branch, which is Article 1 of the Constitution; the executive branch, which is the presidency, which is Article 2 of the Constitution; and then Article 3 is the United States Supreme Court, and then all of the lower federal courts that have been established by Congress.
Wow.
So we oversee in Congress the operations of the other two branches of government: the judiciary, and also, and most importantly, the executive branch. So in overseeing those two branches of government, it means we have hearings and we have witnesses coming to testify. And the objective is to make sure that the policies that we are setting in place are carried out, and that the operations of government are running efficiently and effectively. So that oversight role. And most important role for Congress is taxing and spending, collecting taxes and spending that tax money on behalf of the citizens, for the people, we the people. And so it's spending money to provide for the common defense and promote the general welfare, as well as to promote justice and ensure domestic tranquility.
Man, I like that. Speaking of one bill, I just want to thank you out loud for the $1.9 trillion that you all passed, the Relief Act. The Cobb County is going to get $147 million, you all. Money to help us with small business loans, evictions, food insecurity. Go a long way with infrastructure improvements. And Congressman Johnson helped lead the effort on that whole initiative. And so tell us how this is just historic. I know, how we gloss over it, but this is on the same line as the New Deal with FDR. Talk to us how impactful this relief plan is.
Yeah, it is really transformational, Larry. $1.9 trillion, by the way, is really hard to wrap your head around how much money that is. But
right.
But just to put it in perspective, of that $1.9 trillion, 350 billion of it is going to states and local governments. And so Georgia's share of that is going to be like $12 billion.
Woo.
I think the state of Georgia, I think the annual budget of the state of Georgia is probably, let me see what that is. The annual budget for the state of Georgia. Somebody's looking that up and can come up with the answer, but I think it's like $4 billion. Let me see, Larry.
27 billion.
27 billion?
Yeah.
But so 12 billion
Woo.
is coming to Georgia through the American Rescue Plan. And so that's money that can be used to shore up the state government in terms of employment, making sure that layoffs are prevented. And this money is coming for COVID-19 relief.
Right.
But what the state can do is to spend the money to enhance its ability to care for the people of the state. And so eventually the money comes, the people benefit from the money. The money is not going into anybody's pocket, or at least it should not be. It is being spent on public welfare.
Yes.
And so this money is when it flows through, it pumps up the economy. And so really, this American Rescue Plan is a response to the COVID-19 pandemic on a healthcare basis, as well as on an economic stimulus basis.
Yes.
And so, $350 billion going to states and local government. Georgia's getting 12 billion of it. And that means millions of dollars coming to our cities. In the city of Decatur is getting $8.1 million. The city of Stonecrest is getting $17.3 million.
Oh.
Latonia is getting, which is small in population, $734 million. So this is money that those jurisdictions will use to provide goods and services to the people who pay the taxes. And so it's a giant stimulus bill. Small businesses will be able to deliver those goods and services. That helps these businesses survive and prosper and come out of this economic downturn that we have had. And so it's very important. But more than the governments, people are receiving money. I mean, $1,400 checks have been sent out, over 90 million. People, these are checks that are coming to people who really need the money. And I can't imagine how many homeless people, Commissioner Johnson, who are sleeping in their cars or who are in homeless shelters. And the parents will get $1,400 a piece, and then for their children, another $1,400. So for family of four, $5,600 coming into the household at a single moment, that'll enable a family to pull itself out of homelessness and put itself into an apartment. And
then you did that child care tax credit for if you're under, you get $3,600 if you're under a certain age, and then $3,000 if you up to 17 on top of that. That's really a great.
Yeah, that child tax credit is what's going to bring a lot. It's going to take half of the children who are living in poverty now, it'll take them out of poverty.
Wow.
And that child tax credit has been increased to for children under the age of 6, it is $3,600 up from $2,000.
Wow.
And for a child between 7 and 17 is $3,000. And what makes this so revolutionary, Commissioner, is that the money is going to come to those families for that child tax credit in advance of the 2022 tax year. So starting in July and all the way through December, it'll be 6 months of payments made to families by the IRS.
Wow.
Like $300 per child.
Come on now.
Depending on the age of that child. That'll happen for 6 months. And that gives the families an opportunity to enjoy the benefits of the child tax credit right now instead of having to wait until later. And you know how many people have lost their jobs as a result of the pandemic. They need that money. And that money is going to go into their pockets. They're going to spend it. It's going to go into the economy, and it just builds the economy.
Yes.
And so it's a great thing, that American Rescue Plan.
Wow, I appreciate that. And the other part is, before we open up for questions, and you've been following this because you also always been on the front line of civil rights. Your House Resolution Bill number 1 But what's happening in Georgia, we got the House Bill 531 and Senate Bill 241, which is limiting drop boxes, trying to take away Saturday, Sunday voting. The advanced voting may be in jeopardy. You can't even now go to the mall and have an advanced voting site. You got to be at a government space. Or if you do have a drop box, you got to have a real security guard there 24/7. Talk about what you're doing in Washington and try to help us here, because we're under attack with this voter suppression. And you fighting for us in DC to get some standards and to streamline this whole voting system. Talk to us more about that.
Yeah, well, the House passed H.R. 1, which is just an extensive and omnibus, comprehensive voting rights and voter protection piece of legislation. It would compel the states, for purposes of federal elections, to have automatic voter registration. It would have vote by mail without excuse. It would have Sunday voting and early voting for at least 14 days prior to the election. It puts into place a number of provisions that would directly impact the provisions of what the Georgia legislature is proposing and may in fact pass and get signed into law. So just about everything that they're doing in Georgia to suppress the right to vote, H.R. 1 is coming through to say that, no, you can't do that in federal elections. And so when you say to the states that federal elections have to be handled in this way, then it forces the states to adapt to that federal standard. They're not compelled to do so, but if they don't do so, they have two systems, very inefficient, very, very wasteful. So I'm looking forward to H.R. 1 being something that compels the state to do what needs to be done in order to protect and promote the right to vote. There's nothing wrong with having 70, 75, 80% of the people who are eligible to vote to actually vote.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with making it easy to register, and it's nothing wrong with making it easy to actually vote. But people here in Georgia, Republicans, want to make it more difficult for you to register and to vote, and that's a shame.
Yes. Wow, that's powerful. Man, you see, we're hearing from our congressman, and what he's doing is just laying it out for us about what his role is, what they've been doing. You see, these are kitchen table issues, everybody. These issues impact us day in and day out. And that's why we appreciate these so much. But Mr. Fields, has any questions come in from our Facebook site for our congressman?
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do. We have a few.
Okay.
This is great. The first one is, how do we ensure the everyday person is able to receive assistance from the most recent American Rescue Plan?
Well, if you feel like you are owed a direct payment, if you feel like you are owed a $1,400 direct payment, and you haven't received your payment yet, then talk with your congressional office. If you live in my district, the 4th district, you can call my office at 770-987-2291. That's 770-987-2291, and speak with someone on my staff, and they can help you get to the bottom of it. If you haven't gotten your check and you think that you fall within the guidelines of being eligible, then call us. If you, that's what we're here for, is constituent services.
And they do a great job too. I mean, that's your staff here locally, Kathy, and working with them has been a phenomenal. We've gotten a lot of people help, especially dealing with the post office situation we have on Wesley Chapel, and also veterans issues. So thank you for that. Mr. Fields, next question.
All right. Will funding be available for small business owners that started a business during COVID?
Yeah, there was an expansion of the Paycheck Protection Program, and you can go to the SBA website, sba.gov, and you can look on that website for the link to the Paycheck Protection Program. PPP is what it's called, and you can you can find out what you need to do in order to qualify for a loan, a forgivable loan under that program. And there's also more money put into the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, the EIDL loan program. Those are non-forgivable loans generally, but at a very low interest rate, payable, I think, over 10 years. Wow. And so you can look on the SBA website and get information about that. And if you have any questions, then again, you can reach my office, 770-987-2291, and we'll try to help you.
Great. All right, Brandon, next question.
That's all we have so far, sir.
All right, give me a chance to ask a question. Congressman, thank you for what you've done and how you've done it. We want to ask you, can you give us just a motivational nugget before we close out? Just talk to our people as we've been through COVID. It's a year anniversary. We're finally getting a vaccine. What words of wisdom can you share with us in our district on, keeping hope alive and inspiration to our people?
Yeah, we have been through a lot over this last year or so with the COVID pandemic. 500,000+ of our fellow citizens have lost their lives due to the virus, and millions of others sickened, some dealing with the legacy of the virus. And that's not to mention the economic fallout from it, with the loss of jobs and the loss of homes and families turned asunder because of that economic devastation. And then others, Larry, who were not visited upon by sickness or death, and who also were able to maintain their livelihoods, and their families were able to get through without that economic devastation. We have been impacted adversely by, many of us being on the inside and not being able to congregate with our friends and relatives. And so, alcoholism and drug abuse and domestic violence have increased. Mental illness, it's probably on the rise. And so this has had an impact on us all. Right. But we've made it through up to this point.
That's right.
And we've made it through on faith. And so it's important for people to maintain your faith. This should be something that strengthens your faith, actually. And when you look at it like that, you can look at it as something that was beneficial, that we all needed to go through so that we could come out for the better on the other side.
Wow.
And so we see the other side now through the tunnel. We see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's getting brighter and brighter, right as springtime is upon us. It's springtime in our lives now. It's a time of renewal and refreshment.
Yeah.
We've been through the harsh winter, and now we're coming into the springtime. We see the blossoms on the trees, the beauty of the blossoms. The leaves on the trees are starting to get luxuriant. Mm-hmm. And this is nothing other than the cycle of life. Birth, aging, sickness, and death. And now we are back at birth. And so hope is on the rise. It should be. Help is on the way.
Uh-oh, come on, come on.
Vaccines getting in the arms. And by
Yeah,
the way, you said it earlier, Larry, about getting that vaccine when the first opportunity that you can get it, please get it and take care of yourself so that you won't get sick
yeah,
and you won't have, and the more of us who don't get sick, we might be able to spread the virus, but if you've had the vaccine, then you won't get sick.
right.
So, you know, so the more people that take the vaccine, get their shots, the lower the death toll will go until it goes down to nothing. And the same thing with people getting sick. We'll develop what's called herd immunity, and we won't have to worry about this virus anymore. So what we have to do now is get that virus and is get that vaccine. So we passed that American Rescue Plan, getting vaccines in the arms, money in the pocket, people back to work, children back to school. You know, things are looking up, and but yet we have to deal with situations like the murders in Atlanta, and my condolences go out to the families also, Commissioner Johnson, of our brothers and sisters in the Asian community who were targeted, and their people died, our people died, and we stand with you. And then to my brothers and sisters out in Colorado, where 10 were taken away yesterday, we are with you also. We have to deal with these kinds of things, unfortunately,
Right.
because we have allowed the culture of gun violence to just predominate. And so, and that has been caused by, you know, in part by the number of firearms that we have in the marketplace. I mean, it's been open season on whatever kind of firearm you want to buy. It's time to shut that down. It's time to close those openings that allow for weapons to proliferate on the streets. We don't need all of these weapons. And so let's cut down on it and eliminate the manufacture and sale of the weapons of war to people on the streets. We don't need them in this country. And
Wow.
let's get those things done. Let's continue to put money in people's pockets and create opportunities for them to work and earn a fair wage and a living wage, so that they can provide for their families without having to work 3 and 4 jobs. And let's give the children opportunities in education so that they can advance. And let's make sure that we have a healthy population with everyone having access to the healthcare system. And those are things that we need to continue to work on. We have a president who I think will sign our legislation and we can get it through the Senate. And we got 2 US senators from Georgia now. It's just a great thing. Lots to look forward to. We have so much to look forward to, and that's my inspirational message today.
Appreciate that. I'm gonna give you more inspiration. This is Women's History Month. Let us both congratulate your wife and just my good friend, and I mean, Commissioner Rita Davis Johnson. She's just been a godsend. I mean, she helped me get through these elections with the history she brought, with the motivation, and she was named a Woman of the Year at the Lew Walker Senior Center. So, Congressman, congratulate her for us and just continue to keep up the leadership on her getting a new senior center out there in District 5, her working on the pavilions for the library. She got them all going to have gardens around them. Just her insight and just her motivation has helped us so much. So please pass that word on. Also,
I'll do so, Commissioner, but I got to let the folks know that you've been in position now for almost 20 years.
Right,
and
right.
You have been a pioneer in DeKalb County, making sure that that every neighborhood in DeKalb County was treated with the fairness that was due. And in turning that wheel, it took years to do it,
Yeah.
But you were there to turn the wheel. You were at the wheel and you turned it. And I just appreciate so much the work that you have done throughout the years to make DeKalb County the location where we can feel proud in living. So I want to thank you so much for what you've done
Appreciate
to make it this way.
Thank you. Put up, Brandon, put up the Congressman Twitter town hall meeting on March 30th at 3 p.m. I want you to put that up as I put up other announcements. You all, we got our big cleanup starting on the 27th at Kroger, Wesley Chapel. Please, please, please come on out there. We need you. We're going to have a cleanup every Saturday, starting from March 27th to the end of April. And Congressman, you get a chance. If you're not busy, please just come out, just say hi to us at any of our ones. And Brandon, and we'll make sure Joshua gets the flyer for you to have. We also want to say that we have other announcements that are coming up. We have Sheriff Maddox is coming up on April 6th. She will be present for our Touchpoint series we got coming up as well. Also, I want to make sure you all get our new magazine. Our new magazine just came out last week. You see, we got Miss Bugs on the front page. We paved the street over in her community off McAfee, where we named the park after two fallen officers, Barker and Bryant. It's a new walking trail, got a gazebo. You can fish over there. Just some stuff about who we are on county commission and the CEO, because sometimes we get it mixed up on their roles and responsibilities. Also, you got what we did around COVID. You know, it was a tough year. We did food distributions. We did just a whole host of things to make sure that the residents of District 3 was well served. Of course, we got the phone numbers in the back. All the numbers that you need to call people. Get these phone numbers so you don't have to call us direct. You can call them. You see, we got Miss Bussy on here. We got residents who've done great things in our district. So please get this magazine. We'll mail it to you. We got it online. We got all our social media handles and things that you can have to make sure that you are in touch and engaged, linked and leveraged here in District 3. So it's very important that you stay engaged because we got good folks like Congressman Johnson who's come on, who is making a difference in our community, because we want to make sure that the residents of DeKalb as well as District 3 are well informed and making a difference. And don't forget, our theme this year is giving and empowerment is not just a moment, it's our mission. Giving and empowerment is not just a moment, but it's our mission. So with that being said, Congressman, thank you and your staff who did a great job of getting you on and being with us. Joshua, thank you, sir. But thank you all. We'll see you on April 6th for another edition of Touchpoint. God bless you all. You stay strong. Wear your mask, stay 6 feet, and we'll get through this together, like our Congressman Johnson said. God bless you, and thank you to our District 3 staff for what you all done. And thank you, Eric. I meant to give you a shout out as well on what you're doing to make the constituents and working through our congressman to have a great customer service relationship. Thank you all so much. Take it easy. Bye-bye.